Good evening, welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And as always, we're back with another massive show to bring you all this evening. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. So on the show tonight, we will be talking about Jaden Sancho. We're going to be talking about what Erik ten Hag had to say about him in his press conference earlier on today. We're also going to be talking a little bit about David De Gea. Now, I know he's left the club, but there is some big news surrounding David De Gea. And we're also going to be talking about more players who are apparently speaking out against Erik ten Hag. The dressing room leaks have started again. Obviously, there's been 2 or 3 different stories published by various different media outlets over the course of this day, all talking about Erik ten Hag and talking about how the players are turning on him. So yeah, it's just the same old over and over again, isn't it, really, with Manchester United? But we will cover everything. Do let me know in the comment section and in the live chat your thoughts on everything we discuss, and let's get straight on into it. Let's start off with this story that's come out in the last hour, and the story is a group of Manchester United first team players apparently disagree with Erik ten Hag's decision to banish Jaden Sancho from the squad. Now, who are those players? We don't know at this point. How has this journalist got this information? We don't know at this point. Are the dressing room leaks getting worse again? Yes, that's 100%. So many different outlets are coming out with stories in the last 24 hours about how the players are not happy with this, that, and the other. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's not up to the players to decide whether Jaden Sancho has been treated fairly. I think that Jaden Sancho publicly insulted the manager on Twitter. He called him a liar. I would want an apology if I was the manager. You know, we deserve an apology as fans. Even Manchester United as a club deserve an apology. So I don't really get how they can disagree. I'm sure if they'd won all of the games this season, there wouldn't be any of these types of stories. Everyone would be happy. But the fact that we've lost a couple of games just makes everyone feel a little bit upset, doesn't it? Which is just a bit frustrating. He's then asked, so this is about Jaden Sancho. So in his press conference earlier on today, Erik ten Hag was asked about what the situation is on Jaden Sancho. And all he had to say was this: it depends on Sancho. For the rest, we are preparing for Burnley. That's our focus. Jaden Sancho will not be in our squad tomorrow. So he's clearly completely chilled, I guess, about this situation. Unless Jaden Sancho apologises, we're not going to see him back in the team. That's definitely for sure. Will Jaden Sancho apologise? I'm not sure. And you know what? If I was Erik ten Hag at this point, I know everyone deserves a second chance and all the rest of it, but it's been 3 weeks since he put that statement out, Jaden Sancho. If he wanted to apologise and actually meant it, he would have done it by now. So if we get some half-assed apology in the next couple of weeks, we can all see through it. We can all see that he doesn't actually mean it. Do you know what I mean? If you were actually sorry about something, you would apologise way before now. It's been over 3 weeks since he put out that statement. He definitely should have apologised by now if that was something he actually wanted to do. But let me know what your thoughts are on that one. Do you think Jaden Sancho will ever play for Manchester United again? I have a feeling that he might not. I genuinely think that might not happen because, I mean, what is it? October, November, December. We're about 3 months away from the January transfer window. Obviously, we've got an international break. There's a bit of a break around Christmas. Like, I don't know how many games we've got between now and January. If anybody in the comment section knows this off the top of their head, I mean, I'd be amazed if you do, but let me know. Obviously, it's still a large amount of games. It's probably, what, like 10 games, 15 games between now and January? Let's have a quick look. So there's 5, 10. Yeah, I mean, there's about 15 games between now and January, roughly, give or take a couple more. So even if Jaden Sancho was going to be put back into the team, how many games of those first 50, of those 15, do you think Jaden Sancho would even feature in? Probably not many at all, if I'm being completely honest, you know? But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that one. For me, we just need to get rid of him now. I don't want to have to talk about Jaden Sancho anymore. He's definitely just a negative input around the club now. Get him off the wage bill. Hopefully we can get some money for him. As I said on the show this morning, maybe there's a Tottenham or maybe there's someone like that who would come in for him, potentially. Obviously, Barcelona are also interested in him, supposedly. Whether or not that will materialise, obviously we will keep you updated. In relation to some injury news, I want to bring you really, really quickly. So apparently Varane, Amrabat, Harry Maguire and Mason Mount all trained today and have trained for the last week. We're not sure exactly who's going to be on the bus to Burnley tonight, ahead of the game tomorrow. Obviously, as soon as we get the full team news, we will bring that to you. But as it stands, All of those 4 players have trained, and hopefully they'll be on the bus. So we might see a centre-back partnership of Varane and Martinez. We might see Mason Mount out on the right wing, which I think will be good. And we might see Sofyan Amrabat playing alongside Casemiro. I mean, that is a massive, massive improvement to our squad, isn't it? To our starting 11, to swap Lindelof for Varane, Mason Mount for Pellistri/Bruno on the right wing, and then to be bringing in Amrabat for Eriksen. That's like a massive improvement. And if we went to Burnley and lost with those 3, that would be a massive concern for me. I'd be really, really worried. But let's hope that those 3 pull through, and let's hope that those 3 start the game against Burnley tomorrow, because I really, really do think that we need them. So yeah, obviously Samuel Luckhurst put out this massive story earlier on today about the dressing room leaks. He's also been talking about Mason Mount, and he says apparently Mason Mount could now occupy Anthony's role going forward. Obviously, Anthony's going to be out for an extended period, that's for sure. There's no way we're going to see Anthony in a Manchester United shirt in the next couple of weeks. I would be shocked if we do. I said this earlier on. I would be absolutely shocked if we saw Anthony this side of Christmas, to be honest. I can't see it happening. If he's got 2 legal cases against him, 2 alleged victims, trying to go down the judicial route of going through court and all the rest of it, that's going to take so long. And after the Mason Greenwood situation, I imagine Manchester United are going to be incredibly cautious about bringing him back until they know for 100% that he's not going to be accused of more things. But we'll keep you updated on all of those things. So let me know how you feel about Mason Mount being a winger. Are you excited about that? I've got no issue with it whatsoever. Yeah, I've got no issue with that. There's a little interesting quote here that got reposted earlier on today about Erik ten Hag and about the media. So Erik ten Hag was asked last year, are you ready for the Sharks, the media in England? And Erik ten Hag said, I don't see them like that. I don't see you like that too. Nobody. What it's all about is the dressing room. You need to be able to manage the dressing room. You have to make it function. That's how you win games. I mean, that's mad, isn't it? That Erik ten Hag came out and said that himself, that ultimately he doesn't listen to the media. He doesn't listen to the Samuel Luckhurst. He doesn't listen to these people who put out stories that might not even be true just to kind of get a bit of attention and to get, clicks on their website. He only listens to his dressing room. But there is disarray in his dressing room at the moment amongst some of the players. That's pretty obvious to see, isn't it? They're not giving 110% for him. You've got people like Maguire who think they're better than they are. They've got people like Scott McTominay who refuses to leave, comes on the pitch and doesn't track back. You've got Rashford who's undroppable. You've got obviously the Sancho situation. There's a lot of these players who, in my opinion, apart from Rashford, all of those players I just named need to go. Maguire, McTominay needs to go, definitely. There's 2 or 3 of those people who are still hanging around, Jaden Sancho, who all need to be pushed out of the club for Erik ten Hag to be able to get that authority and for people to understand that it's a squad game and to understand that they will get their opportunities. And when they do get their opportunities, they need to go out there and give 120, 130%, not be going out and jogging around like McTominay was against Bayern Munich. Let's see what people are saying in the comments section. Amy says, good afternoon. One thing the media loves, it's because it's something to write about and it's all drama. Yeah, exactly. Daniel says, only thing he was wrong on was Amrabat. Tried to take on Fabrizio. Yeah, so it looks like Amrabat will be available for the game tomorrow. So that's obviously positive. And obviously the fact that we will have Varane, Mason Mount potentially as well, that's really, really good. Everybody who's just joined in the last couple of minutes, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new here. It doesn't cost any money. We're on the road to 20k. So let's see how quickly we can hit the 20k subscribers mark. Right, let's move on to the next bit of the show though. We're going to talk a little bit about... what's he called? David De Gea. Yeah, we're going to talk about David De Gea. Now, I know David De Gea isn't a Manchester United player anymore, but obviously there's some people who still say that he should be at the club. There is still a bit of a link to Manchester United, obviously. Now, this story's coming out from 2 or 3 different journalists this afternoon, and it says, former Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea may retire if he does not receive an offer to be the first choice goalkeeper at a major club. So apparently David De Gea is asking for £250,000 per week to go and sign for another club in Europe. And apparently the only clubs or places that are willing to offer him that type of money are Saudi Arabia. He doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. He's 33 years of age. It would be a real shame if David De Gea retired. But it just does kind of show the level a little bit. The fact that he thinks he can earn 250 grand a week is ridiculous. We spoke about this on the show earlier. Alisson at Liverpool's on about 150. Edison at Man City's on about 100, and David De Gea thinks he can earn more than that. When last season, yes, he got the Golden Glove, but he wasn't, he wasn't a 250 grand a week goalkeeper, was he? That's my opinion. But let me know what you guys think about that one. Do you think David De Gea will retire, or do you think he will be here next season? Obviously not on Manchester United, but playing football. Ryan says Kobe Mainoo is going to be back next week. Yep, so Kobe Mainoo is back training, but is not available to start in games apparently. So we should see Kobe Mainoo at least on the bench, I reckon, for the games against Crystal Palace a week on Saturday, I believe it is. Amy says Casemiro seems more of the captain to me. I don't get that same impression personally. I think Casemiro has been very poor so far this season. I think he's looked weak. I think he's looked unfit. I think he's looked sluggish. I think he's looked like his legs have gone. The list could go on with Casemiro. He's not looked up to it for me personally. So I wouldn't say that he looks like the captain yet. Ginge says, unpopular opinion, but I think Casemiro needs to be sold in January while we can still get some money for him. I mean, it's a pretty damning thought, isn't it? Because he was our player of the year last year, but I don't know. I don't think we need to sell him in January. I think that's a little bit over the top personally. He's only 31. He obviously, I think he has 2 years left on his contract. We paid a hell of a lot of money for him though, didn't we? Thinking about it now, at the time I thought it was a great bit of business, but when you actually look at it, he had one really good season last year. We paid nearly £60 million for him for a 31-year-old. Yeah, it was 50 million pounds up front with 8.5 million pounds in add-ons. So it's not too bad, is it? But if you're paying 50 million for a player for one season, it's not the best. So his contract expires in 3 years as well, which is pretty mad. I cannot imagine Casemiro being in our midfield in 3 years. There's even question marks about if he doesn't start improving now, will he be the starting midfielder next season? I'm not sure. And then to think you'd have him for 2 more years sat on the bench on probably, £300,000 a week. Lumen says, Kieran, would the Glazers be concerned and worried about the dressing room just like us? All the Glazers care about is money. That's all the Glazers care about. They're worried about the commercial deals. They're worried about shirt sponsorships. They're worried about anything to do with finance. That concerns the Glazers. Whether the dressing room are happy with Erik ten Hag, they won't care about that. They care about results, and they care about... they don't care about results. They just care about money. Irvin says, Kieran, tell me one player that we did not pay a hell of a lot of money for. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, really. Every single player we've bought, we've overpaid on, really, haven't we? Irvin says, David De Gea is not a 200 grand per week goalkeeper. He's 375 grand. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we were paying David De Gea 375 grand a week last year is crazy. Richie says, Casemiro is a slow starter every season, even at Real Madrid. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm not writing Casemiro off yet, Last season, he was our player of our year. Player of the year, or one of the players of the year. I think when he has a proper midfielder next to him, someone like Sofian Amrabat, I think it will improve massively. Eriksen, ever since he got injured last season, has been poor. And I don't think you can play Casemiro and Eriksen next to each other, personally. I think Eriksen, how old is Eriksen now? You need someone more young. I know Amrabat isn't like a 20-year-old. Yeah, they're both 31 years of age. How old's Amrabat? I think Amrabat's just turned 27. So there is a big gap, isn't there? There's 4 years age difference. Just turned 27 versus someone who's nearly 32. 5 years difference almost. What else have we got? Daniel says, do you think Glazer's trying to bring down Ten Hag so they can sack him so the stock market goes up to make money? No, I think that's a little bit far-fetched, mate, to be honest. I don't really... The thing I've said to you guys many times before, right? The Glazers won't want to sack Erik ten Hag because he's on £9 million a year. He's got 2 years left on his deal. To sack Erik ten Hag will cost them nearly £20 million in compensation because of the wages he'll be missing out on. If you then consider how much it will cost to bring in a new manager, there's no one available who isn't at a current club at the moment. So they'd have to pay to bring somebody in. So if they went for De Zerbi, they'd have to give Brighton some sort of compensation, for example. So sacking Erik ten Hag, I don't think would be the top of the Glazers list. It will only be if they think it's gone to a point where all the players are not playing for him anymore. We get absolutely embarrassed by teams. Then I reckon maybe they'll start at least having those conversations. But we're not at that point yet. Obviously, if we go and lose 5-0 to Burnley tomorrow, then maybe they'll start having those conversations, And it's clearly obvious that the players have down tools, which wouldn't surprise me with these players. And that isn't on to Erik ten Hag. If the players down tools, it just shows their weak mentality. They did it under Ollie. They did it under Ragnick to a ridiculous extent. They obviously did it under Mourinho as well. Some of the same players, not all of them. But it just seems to be a mentality that we have at the club. Lumen says, Kieran, what if Casemiro isn't happy with Ten Hag's tactics and that could be the reason for his bad form? I'm not sure about that, mate, to be honest. I wouldn't say Erik ten Hag's tactics have changed much from last season. So I don't see how he would play last year well. And then this year he wouldn't play well because he's now decided he doesn't like his tactics. I think that's a little bit far-fetched, personally. Stefan says, what do you think about the British bias in the UK press? I mean, it's just to be expected, isn't it? It's just to be expected. Like, it's always been the case. Maguire's seen as... They think Maguire is prime Maldini, don't they? They think Maguire is on the level of Rio Ferdinand and Vidic when they were at their peak, when he's nowhere even near that. But for some reason, the media are obsessed with him. Every single bit of media think that Harry Maguire's been hard done by. Why? Probably just because of his passport, realistically, and because they're, an English outlet, or British outlet, whatever you want to call it. Somebody says the same players were steady under Ollie for 3 years. The problem started when Ronaldo came. I do agree with that, I do agree. Obviously, Ronaldo came in and he probably looked at what was going on around him, though, and he probably started questioning it a bit, and he started trying to push them to the next level, which is what we all want as fans. Push them to the level to be able to win the Premier League, to be able to compete in Champions Leagues and stuff. And those players obviously didn't react well to Ronaldo. And maybe you could compare that a bit to what Erik ten Hag's like. We had a story coming out from Samuel Luckhurst that apparently some of the players don't like being criticised. I mean, they're there to be criticised. They're there to listen to their manager. If their manager isn't happy with something they've done on the training pitch, they should be willing to learn and willing to try and, better themselves. Not be, oh, I don't like him. He says that I haven't done something well. I mean, it's just pathetic, isn't it? It's what children do. Ryan says some of the journalists asked about Maguire in the press conference today. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Amy says Erik ten Hag probably needs to bring in some more Dutch players. Yeah. Loomis says, Kieran, are you ready to believe that only the British players aren't happy with Erik ten Hag? No, I don't think that's fair. I mean, what British players, so you're saying Sancho, Maguire? I mean, why would Luke Shaw not be happy with him? Why would Mason Mount not be happy with him? Why would Rashford not be happy with him? He plays him every single game. I don't think it's just the British players. I think there'll be a few people. McTominay, I guess McTominay's British. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? I don't want to single out people to say that it's only the British players that don't like Erik ten Hag. I mean, it's a bit of a mad claim, isn't it? With not really any backing behind it or facts. It's just like an opinion that's, it doesn't really have much, substance behind it. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Jihan says, so we should sell Casemiro because he will have value. Replace him with who? I definitely wouldn't sell Casemiro in January. No way. If we got a ridiculous offer for him from a Saudi club in the summer, I'm talking more than what we paid for him, 50 million plus, I would probably do it at that point and say, we had him for 2 years. He was really good the first year. He was good the second year. If he does turn it around a bit, get the 50 million and then go and invest that in a younger player. I think that would be fine. And I think that would achieve what the Glazers wanted, bringing in a shirt seller. The shirt seller then performed well for us, and then we get our money back for the shirt seller. But yeah, he's not top of my list to get rid of Casemiro. Definitely not. I think he is one of our better players. And everybody's had a poor start to the season. Bruno has. Obviously, Rashford has. Martinez has. All of the people who were good last year have been poor this year so far. So we can't really just single out on him. Let's see what we have. Ryan says, who has tougher mentality, foreign or British players? I don't think it's a case of your passport. I think it's a case of the way that Manchester United recruit certain players. That's how I think that we've messed up. I think it's certain players come in, right? We give them ridiculous contracts. Think Anthony, yeah? We gave him 10 times his pay at Ajax, and he's not been as good as he was at Ajax. Think of Jaden Sancho. We gave him probably more than 10 times what he was earning at Dortmund. He's not lived up to it, All of these players were good at their clubs before we brought them. It's not like we've just brought in some random guy who's rubbish for loads of money. They all were. Like when we signed Jaden Sancho, I'm sure every single one of you in this chat today was excited about it. When we signed Anthony, I'm sure all of you were excited about it, like I was. It's just how we do those deals. We pay ridiculous amounts of money for them. They then have so much pressure on them. They get paid ridiculous amounts of wages as well, which makes them feel like they don't have to prove themselves because they know each week they're going to take home 200, 300 plus grand a week, And I think that's the issue. Yeah. MC says, how are we doing, guys? I'm feeling positive after the Bayern game. We get rid of a few of the remaining bad apples, Sancho, Maguire. I can see us going on a good run. Poor leadership from the owners and the board. Yeah, you know what? Obviously, the Bayern Munich result was disappointing, but I don't think it was absolutely terrible. I think we still do have, a building block to move forward into the season. To get 3 goals away at the Allianz Arena against the strong Bayern side is not the easiest thing to do in the world. And when you actually look at the goals that Bayern scored, the penalty wouldn't be given in the Premier League because he was about a metre away from him, or maybe not even, a couple of feet away. The first goal was obviously a terrible mistake by Onana, and the other 2 were probably avoidable. One was a counter-attack, and the other was, I think Dalot kind of got done a bit and they scored. So I wouldn't say we got absolutely dominated by Bayern, to be honest. The first 20, 30 minutes, we looked a lot better than them. But yeah. Somebody says Jaden Sancho suffered heavily because of Ronaldo's interventions in the team meetings, widely reported. I've not heard anything about that. Ginge says Casemiro's 32 in 4 months. His legs are on the way out. If we can get 70 million offer from Saudi, it's absolutely what we should do. His contract is ridiculous. 5 years contract, 350 grand a week for a 30-year-old. I mean, if we got offered 70 million pounds from Saudi for Casemiro, yeah, I think that would be a good deal. Whether that would happen or not is hypothetical, isn't it? I don't think we'd get 70 million pounds for Casemiro personally. Maybe anything's possible in football, but my guess is no. So Casemiro is on £300,000 a week at Manchester United. At Real Madrid, he was on 184. So we almost doubled his contract. He went from 184 to 300 at Manchester United. That's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. But that's what I'm saying. You know, people can drop off a bit, you know, and they're still going to get paid their 300 grand a week. Lubin says, Kieran, it was Casemiro who went to Onana and consoled him and not the captain Bruno. Yeah, I think Casemiro is a captain on the pitch, you know, but I think that at this moment in time, you don't want to be moving around captaincies. Bruno Fernandes is the captain. Some of you like that, some of you don't like that. I don't have a massive issue with Bruno being the captain. I think Casemiro could be the captain. I think Martinez could be the captain. Probably Onana could be the captain after what we saw of him the other night, where he came out and voluntarily gave an interview to the press and then said it was all his fault and all the rest of it. Like, he clearly has the right mentality, and we saw what he was like with Harry Maguire, which got spun into some stupid story. Harry Maguire made a mistake and he told him, and that's what it should be. You know, they're professional athletes. Doc says, please, any updates on the injury? Who will be available tomorrow? Tomorrow we're hoping it's going to be Amrabat, Mount, Varane should be back. We'll have to wait and see though. MC says, we overachieved last season. This made the Glazers think they could stick around and get another payout before they go. This season is going more like we thought last season would. Yeah, I agree with you, to be honest. Like, I think last season we overachieved. And I know some of you will say, we're Manchester United. We should be getting top four. We should be winning trophies. But we're not the same Manchester United as what you all remember from probably when you were younger. We haven't won a trophy for 5 years before Eric Ten Hag come in. We've been in and out of the Champions League every season. We're more of a Europa League team, I'd say now, to be completely honest. You know, I'm not going to big up ourselves any more than we should be, but we are probably a team that has the right to be in the Europa every year. I wouldn't say we're the team that has the right to be in the Champions League, personally. When you see the rest of the competition in the Premier League now, you know, you could argue that Brighton should be ahead of us in the should be in the Champions League. You could argue, obviously, Newcastle should be in there, Liverpool, Tottenham now at the moment with Ange Postecoglou. Like, there are so many competitive teams in the Premier League. For us to be that entitled to say we should be in the Champions League every season, with the current way the club's run, I don't think we have that entitlement anymore. Ismail says, who is our vice captain? I think it is Casemiro, yeah. I think there's a couple of them. I think it's Casemiro. What else have we got? Some people asking about Kobe Manu. It's going to be a couple of weeks. Somebody says we made 7 straight semi-finals under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, well, if you look last year, we got two finals and a semi-final, was it? So we did well last year in the cup competitions, and we do still have to remember that, right? Even if we have a poor run in the Premier League, we could still go and win the FA Cup. We could still go and win the League Cup. And you know what? I know it's not the Champions League, but I would be happy with either the FA Cup or the League Cup, to be honest. I genuinely would. A trophy's a trophy. I think we are a bit more of a cup competition side now, and I think that we will do quite well in those two trophies. Whether or not we do well in the Champions League, I don't think so. I think we're probably going to either finish second or maybe finish third and end up in the Europa League. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that one. Somebody says, do you think if we don't get new owners, Eric Ten Hag will stay beyond this season? I mean, if I was Eric Ten Hag and we didn't get new owners, I would probably just leave in the summer, personally. I think he's got 2 years left on his deal. Manchester United were talking about giving him a new contract at the beginning of the season. That has gone very quiet now. I would be absolutely shocked if Manchester United gave him a new contract. To be honest, actually, I wouldn't be shocked. We'll probably lose against Burnley on Saturday, and then Sunday morning we'll get a story saying that Manchester United back the manager and they're going to give him a new 5-year contract. Like, that's the kind of thing Manchester United do. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what else people are saying. Royden says, ask yourself, why isn't Samuel Luckhurst from Manchester Evening News not saying anything in his articles about how useless our CEO and director of football are? Yeah, I mean, it's a disgrace, isn't it? It's just an agenda. They're just trying to cause a stir. Nobody from the mainstream media wants to kind of speak up against the Glazers. They'll all say that we're being reactionary. that we shouldn't be blaming the Glazers, that they've spent loads of money, you know. And I've even heard some journalists on, you know, like TalkSport and stuff saying that the Glazers dig into their pockets and spend money. Like, do they not understand that the Glazers don't spend any of their own money? Manchester United's money is Manchester United's money. They're just the owners of that club. You know, it's not their money. It's Manchester United's money as a football club. It's different to like a normal business, isn't it? Let's see what else people are saying. Everybody's just joined. Please do smash a like on the video, by the way, and please do subscribe. We're only 50 subscribers away from 19,100. So let's see if we can hit that by the end of the video. We are on the road to 20k. Very, very excited to hit that next goal on our journey. So please do subscribe if you are new. Right, let's see what else. Loads of people are just joining in the last couple of minutes. Let's see what else people are saying. Jihan says Erik ten Hag is not going anywhere. He has a plan and it's going to work. The plan has to start by beating Burnley tomorrow. I know that sounds a bit obvious, but we have to go out and we have to give Burnley an absolute seeing to. It's got to be 4. It's got to be 3 or 4, you know. We can't just go there and win 1-0. I mean, we can, but we need to really start building the confidence. We need to go out there, put a performance in that shows that these players want to be at Manchester United, that they know what it means to be at Manchester United, because we haven't really seen that yet. It's been very all over the place, and we really, really need to get that sorted. Let's see what else people are saying. Falcon says, Kieran the GOAT. Thank you very much, my friend. Let's have a look. Jin says, if I'm Erik ten Hag, I'd be looking to leave next summer. He's getting hung out to dry by the club and the players. Yeah, I agree with you at the moment, to be honest, but it all depends whether there's a better opportunity out there for Erik ten Hag. At the moment, there isn't. We know that a lot of the Dutch managers have a soft spot for Barcelona. Maybe, you know, if the Barcelona job became available, maybe then there would be, you know, that could be an option, but I don't think so. Somebody says, we're going to sell Casemiro now? Some real clowns in this fan base, honestly. Some bad run of form now. The manager's crap and the players are crap, apart from Mainu and Pellistri. Yeah, I hear you, mate. I agree. I think selling Casemiro is a bit ridiculous. If obviously someone was willing to offer stupid amounts of money from Saudi, then you'd have to at least explore it. Big up to Hanson, who's just gifted 10 memberships to the Daily Red Devil Members Club. Thank you very much, my friend, for all of the support. I really, really do appreciate it. Do say thank you anybody who gets a membership. And if you do want to join the Members Club, I've just dropped a link in the chat. You get a badge next to your name. Obviously, it really helps to support this channel and this community. So big ups to Hanson for the super chat, for the gifting the memberships, and big up to every single one of you who watch the show every single day. Right, let's read out a couple more questions. We've got a couple minutes left of the video, so I will read out a couple more before we end. Deepak says, Kieran, the British media are already chanting De Zerbi chants, not knowing that Potter went and flopped in Chelsea. Brighton is a well-run club, unlike ours. Yeah, that's what I agree. I just don't think that sacking Erik ten Hag is the solution for me. Even if we lose to Burnley tomorrow, even if we lose badly to Burnley, I'm still not going to say sack Erik ten Hag for me. My finger's still going to be pointing at the people behind the scenes, because that needs to be our focus. We need to channel all of our anger, all of our stress, all of our feeling towards them, because focusing on Erik ten Hag, like, we sack Erik ten Hag, he gets a massive payout, and then we're back to square one. It doesn't really solve anything, does it? Like, it doesn't. It's just the same cycle over and over and over again. And we need to break that cycle. Chris says, what's your lineup and scoreline for tomorrow? So, you know what? I'm going to go confident. I think we're going to go and beat them. I think tomorrow is going to be that day where it just clicks. Højlund's going to score. Rashford's going to score. I'm going 4-1 Manchester United tomorrow. I think we're going to batter them. But let me know what your score predictions are in the live chat. I was meant to do my my match preview today, but there was lots of other stuff going on. There was press conferences. There was all of this, you know, players speaking out and stuff. So I've already done about 3 videos today, so I didn't have a chance to do it. I might do one tomorrow morning, which is the match preview, if you guys still want that. But do let me know your score predictions in the comment section. Let me know whether you're feeling confident for the game. Luma says, Kieran, let's assume if you were a football player, would you have accepted pay as per performance? I mean, if I was a Manchester United player, I wouldn't, because I know that they pay stupid money. But I know Saka at Arsenal just signed a new contract, and he's on about 100, 150 grand a week. Then there's all of these crazy incentives in his contract that can allow him to earn, you know, 400 grand a week if he plays games, if he scores goals, and all of these things. And I think that's way more of an incentive, but it is what it is. Ginge says, the Casemiro sale idea is to raise funds as we're not getting sold. We need legs in midfield. We get run through every single game, even against poor sides. Casemiro doesn't have the legs. I agree with you somewhat, but at the same time, I think until we see Amrabat next to him, I think we need to kind of just calm down, all take a breather. All of the players have been poor. not point the finger at one or two players. All of them have been rubbish. Literally, they've all been crap. So I think, blaming Casemiro is, it's the same as blaming Rashford, the same as blaming Martinez. They've all not been good enough. So let's hope that tomorrow it clicks, and let's hope that we go and beat them. What else have we got? Let's read out a couple more. G Hans is back, your manager. He's the best out there. The Glazers are holding us back, not Erik ten Hag. 100%, mate. And as Simon says, please do smash a like and please do subscribe, guys. We're on the road to 20k subscribers. Anybody who's new, we only started the channel in June, I think it was, June or July this year. So we've only been doing it for like 2 or 3 months and we're already getting very close to 20k. So please do subscribe if you're new. I'm going to wrap the video up here. Do let me know your score predictions for the game against Burnley tomorrow. I will be back live at 8 a.m. UK time for your morning show. If anything breaks between now and then, I always go live, as you know. So please do make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell and smash a like on your way out. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran and I'll catch you all later.